Hello, welcome to the newspaper review. I am your host, Fatou George. On today's standard newspaper headlines, controversial overseas ID card issuance scheme reaches Gabon. Minister explains revenue sharing in port concession contract. BAC acquires compactor trucks. Now the news in details. The controversial issuance of national ID cards on Gambians abroad by the Gambian Immigration Department is continuing with the GID team now in Gabon. The scheme has been widely criticized by opposition and civic society members who said the act does not make sense and is an attempt by the NPP government to rig the coming elections using state institutions like the GID. Madi Jabate of the Civic Society Group, EFSCRJ, said passports and not ID cards are what Gambians abroad require, and issuing ID cards to Gambians abroad does not make sense, when ironically Gambians at home find it difficult to get one. Works Minister Ibrahim Silla has responded to claims by opposition UDP executive member Larry Cisse that Turkish investors Al Bayrak, which is awarded a contract to invest and manage Gambia ports, will get 96% of the port's revenue streams, while the Gambia government takes only 4%. The former chief executive officer of the Brikama Area Council, Modu Jonga, yesterday testified at the Local Government Commission of Inquiry alongside his former chairman, Sirifo Sonko, with both admitting that they did not follow the Memorandum of Understanding, that is the MOU governing the expenditure of the $30 million from the Geology Fund. The former chairman, Sirifo Sonko, was also questioned about his role in overseeing the expenditure. Sonko claimed that he supervised the actions of CEO Jonga but did not check the expenditures. Where were you when Mr. Jonga was spending the Geology Fund without following the MOU? Gomez asked. I believe I supervised the actions of Mr. Jonga, Sonko replied. The Gambia Revenue Authority GRA Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo has announced a bold vision to establish the Gambia as a digital taxation hub for West Africa, a transformation rooted in his leadership, strategic reforms, and an unwavering commitment to modernization. Addressing a team of senior customs officials from Sierra Leone who are in Banjul on a benchmarking exercise yesterday, Dabo said his vision for the GRA is not only national in scope but deliberately regional, envisaged to position the Gambia as a catalyst for digital tax administration excellence across West Africa. In a major step towards dependent democracy and accountable governance in Africa, Afrobarometer and the Pan-African Parliament PAP have signed a 3-year Memorandum of Understanding MOU aimed at promoting evidence-based policymaking across the continent. The Pan-African Parliament, the legislative arm of the African Union, is tasked with ensuring Africans play a central role in the continent's development and integration. At least 20 professors and lecturers from Nigeria have been deployed to the higher education sector of the Gambia under the Nigerian government's Technical Aid Crop Program, NTAC. This list batch of lecturers arrived as part of a long-standing partnership aimed at fostering academic excellence and institutional development within the Gambia's higher education system. The volunteers with expertise in science and technology disciplines will be deployed to serve in key Gambian tertiary and higher education institutions, including the University of the Gambia, the University of Education Gambia, formerly the Gambia College, the Civil Service University, formerly MDI, and the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority, NACA. The High Court, presided over by Justice Oladi Uku Oduma, has dismissed a suit fled by the Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation against National Trading Corporations, NTC Limited. Delivering judgment, the trial judge gave the background to the case, disclosed that the plaintiff's SSHFC is making a claim of $1,200,000 against the defendant NTC, representing advance rents paid to NTC by a tenant Sontax Enterprises for the period of 2012 to 2013, along with interest and costs. According to Justice Aduma, after examining all the evidences, she found that the plaintiff's arguments regarding fraudulent or immoral conduct and unjust enrichment on an equitable level cannot override the clear legal principle of limitations and privity of contract in the circumstances of the case. Brikama Area Council yesterday unveiled 5 compactor trucks, 1 skip bin truck, 10 skip bins, and a septic tank. The vehicles and materials will be deployed across the West Coast region for waste collection. The long-awaited vehicles arrive with fanfare, bringing renewed hope and palpable relief to the communities across the region. In sports, under a cloudy and intermittent trickling of rains in a typical rural setting, large crowds from 11 communities and around Makumbaya village watch as the 30-team football tournament is decided in a grueling final on Saturday. The competitive nature of the tourney was clear from the start, as most of the teams are sworn rivals from the same cluster of villages, turning each match to a derby. Participating teams came from Bafuloto, Farato, Kubune, Kubariko, Kunkujang Jataya, Babylon, Lamen CDC, Kerewan, Abuko, and host Makumbaya. Under an effective, inspiring, and dedicated Makumbaya Youths and Sport Committee, led by Ibu Tamba, the tournament was injected with a financial muscle by Honorable Sidin Jai, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. It started from the basics clearing and leveling of a new ground handed to the youths by the village leadership. Impressed with the innovative dedication of the youths, Honorable Sidin Jai provided funding for the lucrative $70,000 cash prize and a professional glittering grand trophy and medals for the finalists. Moving on to the Voice newspaper headlines, passengers cry over delayed ferry services in Banjul. Receiver for Jammeh's companies faces MPs. BAC commissions new waste collection fleet. NGBV, UNFPA hold consultative meeting for persons with disabilities. Now the news in detail. Scores of passengers traveling between Banjul Bara Ferry crossing Monday cried over the prolonged delay of the ferry service. Speaking to the Voice, Fatun Jai, who escorted the family member at Banjul Ferry terminal, lamented that she was very disappointed after waiting for 2 hours only to be told that Kanilai Ferry would not ferry the passengers due to minor problems. I feel disappointed because I have been waiting for a very long time. I have spent almost 2 hours waiting, yet still nothing is done, Jai cried out. PRO Suso explained that Kunta Kinte Ferry is currently undergoing tests to ascertain whether it will be absolutely functional underwater. He said that 2 weeks ago, experts were invited to diagnose the problems of Kunta Kinte Ferry, and the said expert recommended certain parts to be changed. He pleaded with the public to pay for tickets for national development while advising passengers to plan their journey and avoid rush hour journeys to prevent unforeseen circumstances. Mr. Louis Prom, the court-appointed receiver for companies linked to former President Yahya Jammeh company, told lawmakers that most of the businesses placed under receivership in 2017 were financially insolvent and burdened by heavy debts. Testifying before the National Assembly Special Select Committee on the sale and disposal of assets identified by the Jammeh Commission, Mr. Prom said 17 companies under his care were financially weak, with several dormant and unable to operate due to liabilities and administrative neglect. He told the committee that upon visiting the various business premises, many offices were locked and inactive, with no staff present. He cited Africara Insurance and its associated Forex Bureau as examples of firms that were dormant and non-operational at the time of takeover. One-day consultative meeting bringing together persons with disabilities from various organizations across the Gambia was held on Monday, 4th August 2025. The primary objectives of the consultative engagement were to identify the needs of persons with disabilities and to ensure that the challenges they face in society were not left unaddressed. The Network Against Gender-Based Violence, NGBV, in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund, hosted the meeting. Speaking at the event held at the Metsi Hotel in Senegambia, Fallou Sow, country coordinator of the Network Against Gender-Based Violence, emphasized that access to information and education remain limited for persons with disabilities. He highlighted the critical role of information in enabling people, especially persons with disabilities, to access necessary services. Our boy, an executive member of the Gambia Albinos Association and a participant at the one-day event, praised the importance of the meeting but raised concerns over disparities in access to education for persons with disabilities. Sometimes we find it difficult to access these structures, that is the schools, most especially the disabled who use wheelchairs. We really struggle to sometimes get to these environments, she said. 20 professionals serving under the banner of Nigerian Technical Aid Corps Monday commenced their tour of duty in the Gambia. This is part of Federal Republic of Nigeria's support towards enhancing the academic development of higher education institutions across the Gambia. The arrival of these 20 highly skilled volunteers underscores the unwavering support of the Nigerian government and the NTAC organization toward the Gambia's higher education transformation agenda. Minister of Higher Education, Professor Pierre Gomez, charged the affairs of the Nigerian High Commission, Mr. Mohamed Usman Manisara, also said Nigeria had been involved in the technical manpower assistance as a soft power diplomacy to African. Charged the affairs of the Nigerian High Commission, Mr. Mohamed Usman Manisara, also said Nigeria had been involved in the technical manpower assistance as a soft power diplomacy to African, Caribbean and Pacific countries since its inception in 1987. A white South African farm worker accused of killing 2 black women says he was forced to feed their bodies to pigs, according to lawyers. Adrian DeWitt is one of the men facing murder charges after Maria McCarthy, 45, and Lucian, 34, were killed while allegedly looking for food on a farm near Polokwane in South Africa's northern Limpopo province last year. Their bodies were then alleged to have been given to pigs in an apparent attempt to dispose of the evidence. Mr. DeWitt, 20-ton state witness when the trial started on Monday and says farm owner Zachariah Jones shot and killed the 2 women. In sports, Salas FC delivered a convincing performance in the Gambia Football Federation Division 2 League playoff on Saturday, securing maximum points and keeping their hopes alive for second division football next season. 2 first-half goals from Abimane and Fatoumata Mane proved enough as Salas FC defeated Star Academy 2-1 in the promotion playoff. Despite a late goal from Hadinyang deep into stoppage time for Star Academy, Salas FC held on to take a significant step toward a historic qualification. The victory keeps the CRR champions firmly in contention. Now to the Fourier newspaper headlines. Galga tells Gala it lacks power to do what the petition requests. Heavy rains caused flooding in Talinding and Churchillstown. It's not enough to say I don't know, Enquiry chair tells former Brikama officials. Former Brikama CEO Jonga faces scrutiny over vehicle cautions financial records. Now the news in details. A stretch of flood water along Talinding Colaban Street after a recent downpour, heavy rain over the weekend, caused serious flooding in Talinding Colaban, Talinding Farokono and Churchillstown. The rain was too much for the drainage system, which could not handle the water. As a result, many low-lying areas were flooding. Modulamin Jaju, a resident of Churchillstown, said the drainage system, especially along smaller roads, shows that urban areas in the Gambia are not ready for heavy rains. He said floods have damaged roads, buildings, and other important infrastructure in the past. Some people are forced to leave their homes, which cause housing problems and health risks. He added the floods also disturb business and transport, and many women who sell in local markets lose money. In a lengthy and sometimes tense session over the Local Government Commission of Inquiry, former Brikama Area Council Chairman Srifo Sonko and former Chief Executive Officer Modu Jonga faced probing questions over irregularities in council cautions and financial reporting during their tenure. The 2 men who appeared jointly before the commission were questioned by lead counsel Patrick Gomez on a wide range of issues, including the unexplained disposal of a septic tank, declining car park revenues, and the ocean of vehicles and questionable valuation record. The Commission is investigating the financial and administrative operations of local councils from May 2018 to January 2023 to promote transparency and accountability. The National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) has issued a strong call for enhanced funding for the Gambia Soul Mental Health Facility, the Tanka Psychiatric Department, alongside the urgent enactment of the Mental Health Bill 2019. This resolution forms part of the NHRC's recently published 2024 State of Human Rights report, highlighting critical deficits in the country's mental health services. In a step toward transforming science and technology education in the Gambia, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education on Friday, August 1st, 2025, handed over $2 million worth of state-of-the-art laboratory equipment to schools across the country. The high-level ceremony took place at the Lottery Science and Laboratory Center in Kanifing. Presiding over the official handover, Dr. Habibatu Drame, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, described the initiative as a major milestone in the Gambia's quest to provide quality science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. In sports, the Gambia women's national team duped Queen Scorpions Monday teeth of training at the late Usman Saho football field in Old Yundum in preparation for the final round of qualifiers for 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The qualifiers will take place in October 2025 as African women's teams battle it out for a place in the continent's tournament. The Queen Scorpions will square off against Kenya to book the final round following secure a spot in the finals. Coach Mariama Bomso assembled her troops and advised them to take the training seriously while adhering to all the tactics. She said the qualifiers are very important for the team and urged the Queens to remain focused on the task ahead. Now to the point newspaper headlines. Government covers 78% of water supply system in rural communities. BCC awards over $2 million in scholarships to empower youth. Gambian delegation champions climate action agricultural reform at Pan-African Parliament. BAC alleged scandal, ex-CEO admins breaking fund rules. Minority leader 2026 election battle for Gambia's democratic survival. Now the news in details. In a demanding testimony before Local Government Commission of Inquiry, former Chief Executive Officer of Brikama Area Council, Modu Jonga, admitted to deliberately breaching the Memorandum of Understanding governing the use of the Geology Fund, a public resource intended strictly for trade. In a demanding testimony before the Local Government Commission of Inquiry, former Chief Executive Officer of Brikama Area Council, Modu Jonga, admitted to deliberately breaching the Memorandum of Understanding governing the use of the Geology Fund, a public resource intended strictly for community development projects. Jonga confessed that over $13 million was spent from the fund, including $11 million on ward projects and $500,000 paid to the National Disaster Management Agency, all without adhering to the MOU. Yes, I knew I was deviating from the MOU. I have no justification for it, Jonga said. When asked about the decline, Jonga said he was not the one collecting agency and offered no satisfactory answer. Lead Council Gomez pressed Sonko on his apparent lack of awareness regarding the irregularities. Sonko admitted he had been informed of some issues by the CEO but failed to act decisively. If you cannot provide reasonable findings, you should leave our office, the lead counsel concluded. United Democratic Party Minority Leader and Senior Administrative Secretary Honorable Ahaji S. Dabo has issued a rallying call to the Gambians in the diaspora, urging them to unite and intensify their support ahead of the 2026 presidential election, describing the vote as a defining moment for the nation's future. Speaking at the UDP Diaspora Convention in Seattle on Saturday, Dabo declared that the 2026 race is not just another political contest, but a must-win battle for democratical survival, institutional reform, and generational justice. Dabo's remarks underscored the importance of party unity and discipline as the UDP prepares to select its presidential flag bearer. He called for the process to be guided by the party's constitution and democratic values, stressing that internal diversity should be a source of strength, not division. The Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources has disclosed that as part of government's pursuit to provide enough and potable water supply to the citizens, his ministry is working to ensure that there is significant coverage of water supply systems in rural communities. He added that upon completion of its project implementation by December 2025, there will be 78% coverage of water supply system in rural communities. Musa S. Drame was speaking an exclusive interview with The Point on Monday. He also revealed that the African Development Bank, ADB, has funded 68 solar-powered water supply systems in various rural communities. In a landmark move to bolster education and youth empowerment, the Banjul City Council (BCC), under the leadership of Mayor Rohey Malick Lowe, has disbursed over $1 million in scholarships to deserving students for the 2025 academic year, reaffirming its commitment to investing in human capital. The initiative, now a cornerstone of the Council's annual support to young people in the capital, aims to ease the financial burden on families and enable students to pursue their studies without interruption. The disbursed funds were sent directly to institutions such as UTG, Gambia Law School, GTTI, TVET centers, and several public and private high schools in Banjul and its environments. Mayor Lowe explained. The Banjul City Council's continued investment in education stands as a powerful testament to its belief in the transformative potential of young Gambians and its resolve to build a more equitable and prosperous future for all. Members of the Gambia's delegation to the Pan-African Parliament have made a strong case for urgent climate action, agricultural transformation, and equitable trade during the recent 20 Symposium organized by PAP. Their interventions underscores the need for African-led solutions to some of the continent's most pressing challenges. Speaking at the symposium, Honorable Suleiman Saho, National Assembly member for Central Badibu, delivered a passionate address on the devastating impact of climate change across Africa. Climate change is real. It's destroying African agriculture, distributing rainfall, spreading disease, and threatening livelihoods, he said. This is the year of action, Africa for Africans, and home and abroad, he declared. Honorable Swaibu Toure, National Assembly member for Woolly East, focused his remarks on empowering smallholder farmers, who he described as the backbone of West African agriculture. In sports, Sporting General Football Academy and Red Star FC are currently stretching their muscles for the 2025 Gunjur Super Cup final. The duo will battle for the coastal town wet season biggest football festivity season traditional Kutin race-up final after lifting the league and knockout trophies in the 2024-2025 Gunjur Nawetan season. Sporting General Football Academy and Red Star FC are both training hard ahead of their Super Cup final set for later this year. Ajax FC 2-1 in a tightly contested final played at the same venue. Lamin Jame alias Bruno scored a brace for Red Star FC after the interval. Babkar Jass's first half strike only proved to be a consolation goal for mighty Ajax FC. This is all we have for you in our today's newspaper review. Please do stay tuned for more newspaper review, and please don't forget to subscribe, like and share our videos. I remain your host, Fatou George.